Once you've made your changes to the code to get it working properly, the next thing we want to do is export it to MCU Expresso. However, you can see here that this is the documentation not ready version of Mbed, so we're going to have to copy this library that has classes to it before we actually send it to MCU Expresso. So let's just click here, right mouse click, and go down here and delete this one here. And let's just copy this and then paste this to here. And at this point we should be able to right mouse click, export program to MCU Expresso, and then pull it up into MCU Expresso. Now it's time to import our corrected code into MCU Expresso. I'm going to say File, Import, Projects and Folder or Archive, Next, Archive, and we're going to bring this one in. And we're going to say Finish. We're going to open up the top one as we've done before. We're going to go down to the .cpp, open it up, and we're going to hit the blue debug button. We're going to say OK. What we'd like to do at this point is get an idea of the relationship between temperature and resistance. Now right now we can see that we've got global variables here of temperature and voltage, and they show up over here. But what we want to do is also be able to take a look at our resistance and get a relationship here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take this, which is a local variable, we're going to Control X, and we're going to go up here, and we're going to Control V and make it a global variable. Now what we can do now is we want to double click on temperature, right mouse click, and go down here and say add watch expression and say OK, and it's going to show up over here of temperature. And then we're going to do the same with resistance. Just double click, right mouse click, or add watch expression, and it's going to show up here. Now what we want to do is set a breakpoint on line 39, which is right after it's done the resistance here and the temperature, because wherever you set the breakpoint, it's going to run down to that line but not execute that line. So if we hit this right now, what we're going to see over here is two readings, temperature and resistance. We should write these down, 23.396 roughly and 1.080. Now at this point what I want you to do is put your thumb on the little chip that's on our temperature sensor, wait a few seconds, and then what we're going to do is hit this again and it should take a new reading. And now we've got 24.894 and 1.005. We'll write these down. And then what we're going to do is hit this again after another few seconds, and we'll take another reading here, and then we're going to have resistance versus temperature. As you can see, as the temperature goes up, the resistance drops. And I think you'll be able to see in the lab that this means that this is a negative temperature coefficient.